Nobody in midterm right now is talking about these transformations, moving more operations to the U.S., but those transformations are key to understanding some of the larger issues people are talking about with inflation, unemployment, and general distrust in government. So, and general distrust in government, guys. Let's check this little article out, y'all. All right, you guys, so I'm just going to read this article real quick. It's going to be somewhere on the screen as well as I'm reading it. Hopefully this video play out well. I've been trying to do this whole screen to screen video. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. I used to be techie, and then techie became a bit too techie. Yeah, but we're trying to figure it out. So Americans experienced the impact of labor and product shortages in earnest during the COVID-19 pandemic. More than 2 years later, shortages continue to arise and impact Americans. Guys, most freight and delivery trucks take diesel. So if diesel was to really run out, it would be a problem. Boats, trains, farmers, they all use diesel as well. So I'm not too sure what's really going to happen. I'm hearing that there was 25 days left of diesel left. Then I'm hearing like diesel is not really going to run out. But what's happening is as it becomes short in supply, the prices will go up. But if the prices of diesel go up, the prices of other things go up too, such as your heating, such as your grocery bills. It plays a part. It's like the ripple effect. So if there's really a diesel, would we really run out of diesel? Even the military people, they use diesel as well, for their equipment. But would it really run out? That is the big question there. Let's continue reading this article. So it says, earlier this month, Americans learned there was less than a month of diesel supply left in storage. It is the lowest storage supply since 2008. It has led to skyrocketing prices as U.S. refineries struggle to keep up with demand. But it does not stop there. Dozens of other sectors are struggling to meet demand, and the U.S. have experienced shortages ranging from employees to medication to parts needed for U.S. defense contractor weapons. So it says an associate professor of operations management said there are reasons why Americans are hurting for certain items. In the diesel's case, dwindling U.S. supplies are exacerbated by a ban on Russian imports. So they're also saying that, the Russian-Ukraine war is impeding other sectors too, as a slow global supply chain keeping suppliers from receiving materials in time. So it's affecting things like medication. So there are some medication shortages. The main two that I know of, and it's stated in this article, is the amoxicillin, which is new. I believe that the Adderall shortage that went into effect maybe 2 months ago. I know the amoxicillin started running short in October sometime. And they're also talking about how in China, China have their zero COVID policy when they just shut everything down. Ain't nothing going in and ain't nothing coming out. So that's another issue too. I don't know if you guys know. I've been talking about this in the past few videos, like especially through my walkthroughs, especially in Walmart. It's crazy with these Walmarts. We're going to talk about these Walmart closings next though. Not in this video, just watch out, just look out for a video. It's crazy how so many people, they shop at Walmart, and of course there will be more shortages. But y'all know I'm in Walmart every single week. I zoom in all the time on this rice. Every week that I go into Walmart, the rice is getting lower and lower. So there was also something about this, another grain shortage. There's been a grain shortage. But I believe it's definitely hitting, and it's definitely getting worse, just because I'm seeing certain things definitely out of stock, and it's at more than one store at least in my area. I can only speak of what I see. I don't know how it look in you guys' area, but definitely in my area, that rice is either going up in price or it's disappearing. In my case, it's both. So it says, things do not just get shipped over. It creates a product shortage. So basically, if it's not being sent here, we're short in supply, right? So it says, as far as their food shortages, as it's saying here, and I'm only doing this just because, let me read it. It says, shortages are caused by national issues, such as logistic problems in trucking and air transport issues. For example, dairy production is down because of a labor shortage, which leads to a shortage of dairy products like butter, which also went up in price. Just as the American holiday season is beginning to ramp up. So much butter is used during the holidays. Yes, it is. You know what? I agree with that. They're also saying products that have a short shelf life, like butter, are caught in transportation delays. Suppliers might have to toss the items when they arrive because of the expiration date. But even with things that have a close expiration date or best by date, whatever, you guys know what the expiration date, that means it's probably no good by that date. But with the best by date, you can still use it. It's just best by, you know, that's when the seller really got to get it out the store. But yes, even with things with an expiration date, let's say today is November 2nd, right? Today is November 2nd, and I go ahead and I buy that gallon of milk, and it don't expire until, like, let's say November 10th. And I open that thing on November 3rd, and it's already smelling and showing signs of spoilage. Is it a possibility that they had some, you know, some issues on wherever it was coming from? You know, maybe it was overheated, you know, maybe it wasn't stored correctly. As far as before getting to the stores, this stuff is still being sold. As long as that expiration date is still good, it's being sold. I believe some companies are changing them expiration dates, and that's just my honest opinion, just because some of that stuff still be bad before that expiration date, unless it's just being stored improperly. I could be wrong. So we had some milk go bad way before, even the lactate milk. Never in my life have I saw that lactate milk clump up way before its time. And listen, this lactate milk lately, it's been clumping up. It's been clumping up way before its time. So it says, in other cases, weather and outbreaks of the avian flu have impacted the supply of potatoes and turkeys, respectively. Severe drought conditions also have decreased the supply of rice. Just talked about rice, winter wheat, tomatoes, and olive oil, according to a recent report by Monkey Talks News. What did I have to say? Oh, it said something about droughts. I don't know. I've been watching this whole Mississippi River thing a little close by. We have not talked about it yet. I saw a few people mention it in the comments as well. I've been looking it over. I've been looking at it. You know, they water levels was like up here. That thing like right here now. It's ridiculous. So that's going to actually bring problems with transportation, you know, with transporting supplies as well, because more supplies are going to now be transported by the trains because they can't get across that river. Guess what? Trains need more diesel, right? So it says, with their section of their labor shortages, along with product shortages, certain industries have struggled to staff employees after the pandemic. Along with creating a crunch in those positions, workforce shortages can contribute to shortages in other areas. Getting people back into the workforce and having them go back to full-time positions is really hard, someone says. We have seen labor shortages across the board in a number of industries. When you're low on labor, sometimes production capacity decreases because you don't have people on all the stations. So that can contribute to supply shortages. The most affected job sectors are those requiring employees to present in person. Stop. Hold on. such as police officers, teachers, manufacturers, and bus drivers. Labor economists, okay, this person said, as employees transitioned to remote during the C-19 pandemic, they might hesitate against returning to office jobs that require them to be physically present. The increased ability to work remotely is driving a labor shortage in other sectors. What I was about to say, if they really raise the pay and make it more reasonable for people to actually want to go back to work, though, whether you go back to work or not, right? Bills still need to be paid. Your family still needs to be fed regardless. What are you going to do? Some people are left out here just to suffer. At the end of the day, yes, it's suffering. It's suffering. You're working. We talked about the people that's working 3 part-time jobs just to make ends meet and still be stuck with nothing. Still be stuck with nothing. It also goes on to say those people who discover they enjoy working remotely, they don't want to go back into the office situation if they can avoid it. Supply shortages could have a grim outlook. Elections aren't likely to influence most shortages Americans are experiencing, as candidates are debating topics like inflation and economy, but not so much the underlying issues contributing to those topics. One lesson politicians should have learned from the pandemic was sourcing industries in the U.S. to prevent global supply chain issues. But that nobody wants to discuss that issue. Nobody wants to talk about the global supply chain issues, what's causing it, and how it's going to be resolved. Nobody in the midterm right now is talking about these transformations. I'm not really watching the midterms that close, and I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm honestly not. I'm taking piece by piece by piece, but I'm not in it. I'm really just not in it. You know what I'm also worried about? Whether you put your vote in or not. I'm also worried about what's going to happen after them votes been put in. What storm is really going to happen after these votes are put in. After these elections, what is going to go down? But we're going to hear, we're going to be here, we're going to wait, and we're going to see. So it says, let me read that over. Nobody in the midterm right now is talking about these transformations, moving more operations to the U.S., but those transformations are key to understanding some of the larger issues people are talking about with inflation, unemployment, and general distrust in the government. Either way, just listen to this, guys. Diesel shortages would... The article was a little bit all over the place. They did talk about, the diesel shortages and the effect that it will have on us. But then they started talking about other things as well. But always take a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and you just make it your own. But the 25-day supply, so it's basically saying here, the national average price for diesel today is about $5.30 per gallon in most places. And it is expected to go up 15 to 20 cents in the next few weeks. If the price of diesel keep going up, some truckers are going to start to say, it's not worth that. Because, what profit do they start to see if they're paying this much for their gas? What is their profit? It's going to force some companies to really shut down. Some of this stuff is forced, created. You believe what you want to believe. We all have our own beliefs. So, and then they're saying, it's the perfect storm. We've been hearing that as well. A lot of people, when you're young, you don't think about none of this stuff. It's as you get older and you actually get to see and feel the effects. Could it get worse? Someone says maybe. Moving supplies of diesel fuel around the country to where it's needed most is getting harder and more expensive. Reports the cost of delivering distillates to the Northeast ranges from $5 to $6 a barrel. This person here, they also mentioned what I was talking about. The dramatic drop in the Mississippi River water levels has slowed barge traffic. diverting more deliveries to rail. But bottlenecks could appear in that delivery system in the form of nationwide rail strikes. That's another issue. That's another issue. The railroad strikes, are those going to be coming back? I know that they didn't really, they never really made their deal, did they? I don't think so. We're gonna close this video out because it's so much more to talk about. It is so much more to talk about. Guess what, guys? Winter is approaching. What is the first day of winter? Let's just look that up. This is something that I should know, right? I know y'all right here, right now saying, oh, the first day of winter is... I don't know the real first day of winter, okay? So let's look up what is the first day of winter. It is December 21st. We are in the beginning of November. Winter is approaching. It's November. It's election month. Let's see what's going to happen from elections to December 21st. Let's see, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And make sure you all just stay prepped, stay blessed, and stay safe. But most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. This is Shauna. And I'm checking out for Moments with Us because baby girl over here, she's snoring in my background. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But she finally taking her nap. And I was able to do this video, guys. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you're new here, please go ahead and consider subscribing. Don't forget to like the video, y'all. Do not forget to like the video and drop a comment of what you thought of this video. Your thoughts on the 25 days of diesel supply being left. What you guys think about all of that. Some people were saying that they're trying to just cause panic, by saying that. I'm going to keep on preparing and just wait and see. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I can do, because if it happens, it happens. It's just one of them things, as far as with these world events. It's one of those, if it happens, it happens. But what are you going to do up until that time to prepare you and your family? I'm out. Peace.